face who runs the place, T-Roy, the OG on the marquee, Jaybird, and the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We're not the Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We are your Quad City Sports Talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn.
What's up, Quad Cities? We are here in the Hassle Castle. Jay and I feel like empty nesters today, but that's all right. We'll get through it. Welcome to the greatest show on earth, hands down.
The empty nesters thing.
Empty nesters, you get it?
Yeah, no, I get the whole thing.
Kids are gone.
Yeah, I tell you what. And I feel refreshed. I did not watch anything political. Haven't really watched anything today political.
No, I touched a little bit on my phone every now and then on the Twitter, but I'm pretty close to being done with Twitter. I'm going to sign off.
You're going to sign off again?
I'm going to say sayonara.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well, it's worthless. It's a worthless app, and I don't like the guy that runs it.
That runs Twitter?
Yeah, that Jack fella.
Oh, I guess I don't know anything about him.
He looks like a real douche.
No. I guess I'm finding myself more and more not on Twitter, but I'd like to say I was like doing something more important, but I'm not. So
I mean, the only thing I'll miss Anger's stuff. Is pretty funny. Super 70 Sports.
Yeah, that's all good. I got it. Yeah, I can't leave like Rick Webster and Water Tower.
Webster's pretty solid.
Lucy Rodine and Emily and Jessica.
Yeah, that's the only way you got to keep up on Emily. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it.
Jessica had a good tweet last night. It was if nothing's been decided by midnight, they get a runner on second base. You know, like the extended innings, anything that was pretty good. But no, last night there was some. There was the return of the action last night, and I didn't spend very much time with that at all. Just kind of paid attention to some of the scores, but I stayed away from most of it. Toledo covered the minus 24 against Bowling Green, and they won 38-3. Buffalo, 149-30. They covered. They're minus 14 at Northern Illinois. And Western Michigan covered. They're minus 20 with a 58-13 rout over Akron. And then Kent State did not cover, but did win against Eastern Michigan. They were minus 4.5. They won 27-23. And Miami of Ohio was a dog, and they won outright 38-31.
Ooh.
I know. So, and the overs all went 4-2. But speaking of bets, we have our pick six today. We have our over-unders. We're going to add over-unders today because we're not going to come in tomorrow.
Yeah. So
it's just been that week, guys. That finally at the end of the week, and it's 70 degrees, and it's November. T-Roy, I went for a jog today.
Oh, yeah?
After I worked out.
Were the ladies chasing you?
I was sweating. No, I wasn't jogging because of that. I was sweating, and I got super excited, and I just wanted to say thank you to global warming for this in November. I was very excited and then it was so much that I was like,
Jay, when I was a kid, and I don't know if this is politically correct anymore, but and when I was a kid, they just called this Indian summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just like you get a little patch of warm air when you're not supposed to get it. But I mean, this global warming thing just happened. So,
that stuff happens all the time. Like, it's not a big deal.
It wasn't happening back then. That was something different.
Last year at this time, didn't we had snow?
Well, we had snow on Halloween. And then it was 70 degrees on Christmas.
Yes. So I would enjoy that as well.
My daughter was not pleased with.
Oh, really?
She likes snow. I don't know what's wrong with her. She's still little. She's never had to shovel a walk in her life.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She probably never will, but I think I'm gonna make her help me though.
But I didn't watch too much. I relaxed last night. Started watching a new series on Netflix, The Queen's Gambit. Do you like chess? Seem like a guy who would like chess.
I love chess. But I'm thinking, what is it about? Like chess players?
Yeah.
Really?
She's this like savant chess player that figures it out like at age 8, and she's just really good. Like,
is it a true story? Oh, okay.
But it's like, I've only through episodes. It's only 7 episodes, which is incredible because it's not like there's going to be extended series or anything. It's called a limited series. It's 7 episodes. It's written really well. I really think you'll like it.
I love chess.
It's an hour at a time.
Do you play chess?
I know how to, but not like this.
I rarely find anybody that can play, that knows how to play.
This is really extensive stuff, but it's based in like the 1950s, 60s.
Okay.
So it's a good story.
You know, I think you and I getting older, we should sit down and start playing chess more.
We should.
Have a few cocktails.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Instead of sitting around with some of the ding-dongs we do and talking sports.
Yeah, what are you guys doing? We're busting out the chessboard.
Everybody
just calm it down.
Up to pints for an hour.
Yeah, what are you guys doing? Playing chess?
Yeah.
Duh.
It's not.
What do old guys do?
It really wasn't where I was like, like when you're younger and you like watch The Karate Kid and you're like, I'm going to learn the crane kick.
You want to learn some
chess
moves.
It's not like I was. I really wasn't like that. But now when you put it your way, I'm like, that's not a bad idea.
I grew up with a kid that was really good, and like he taught me, and he was, I don't know if he was a savant or anything, but he was pretty darn good at it. And then, like, I had to learn from having him kick my butt so many times. So that's kind of how I kind of trial by error, or sink or swim, I should say.
It's 7 episodes. I think I got through 3, maybe 2.5.
Well, I told you what I watched last night.
Yeah, remind me again.
So on HBO, they have this documentary, a Kurt Cobain documentary, and it's all a ton of footage of home movies, whether when he was a little kid, when he was with Courtney Love, when they had their baby, all leading right up to when he took his own life. They had, a lot of his journals and stuff that he had written. He basically had like notebooks called his journals, little mead spiral binder, and he wrote all his stuff. And he just had a lot. He drew a lot, so they took a lot of his drawings and made them into cartoons, part of the show itself. It was really well put together, and interviewing his parents, his mother, his father, his stepmother, and his sister. And then and I never forget I always forget the bassist's name it's always
Kurt
Cobain,
guy.
and I know Dave Grohl because that guy after Nirvana said I'm done. He didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I know. I only know that guy from running on the VMAs one time, going, "Where's Axl? Where's Axl?" That's all I remember that guy of.
Why did he say that?
They had a beef with like Guns N' Roses.
I do remember that.
Yeah, that's all.
I do remember Axl Rose trying to fight Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, so that's the only thing.
That dude would beat Axl's ass. That dude was a pretty tall dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Axl's I hate Axl Rose.
That sounds like a good documentary.
Dude, it was awesome. I mean, other than the fact that obviously, Kurt took his own life, but it kind of gives you an insight to, he had demons. He really did. Leading up to that, and it didn't help that he got addicted to heroin, and so very sad. The dude was just really good at what he did with writing and stuff. And even like before he took his own life, he's like, I'm kind of like running out of songs to write. I don't know, the pressure of always trying to come up with the perfect song, and that he was feeling it. So, but I'll tell you what, I mean, one of my favorite bands, hands down, is Nirvana. So I loved everything they put out. So it was fun to watch.
Going into this weekend, we do have the Iowa game. They're going to have an 11 o'clock kickoff against Michigan State. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. This has been a close rivalry over the years.
What's that?
The Iowa versus Michigan State.
It really has.
Iowa holds a 23-22-2 advantage in the series that began in 1953.
Thanks to Marvin McNutt.
With the Michigan State win in 1953. The first meeting was played in Iowa City on September 26th. It marked Michigan State's first game as a member of the Big Ten Conference. Michigan State is coming to Kinnick Stadium for the first time in 7 years. And on top of it, Kirk Ferentz recorded his first Big Ten win as Iowa's head coach when the Hawkeyes beat Michigan State 21-16 in Iowa City in 2000. They have played 2 overtime contests, with Iowa winning both in double overtime, 34-27 in 2007 and 19-16 in 2012. 19-16 in 2012. Michigan State, however, has won the last 3 meetings, including a 16-13 win at the 2015 Big Ten Championship game, which was a big kick in the groin if you were there, and I was. Iowa's 13-10-1 at home against the Spartans. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I think, if looking at the press conference from Coach Ferentz, he feels good about it. Like I know I touched on it briefly yesterday that there's been times where they've been 0-2 before, and there's been times where they've been 0-3 in the conference.
Yeah.
So
didn't Pat play in that Marvin McNutt game?
I believe yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was there in that one. So.
Well, thanks to Pat too then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe also was it 2000? They started 0-3 in the conference. There it is. In 2008, Iowa started the season 3-0, but then they turned around and they're 3-3 because they went 0-3 in the conference. So I would assume that was the last time that they went 0-3 in the conference play. We know that Wisconsin's out, and so that's the problem.
So how many is that? Wisconsin can't complete a season now, right?
No, they can get to 6. They just can't miss the next one. I mean, then they're out for the championship. They have to have 6 games.
Gotcha.
And that's just because of the breakout in COVID. The game tonight is still on. As of yesterday, the San Francisco forced down their facilities.
The facilities.
The Niners said the players who tested positive immediately went into self-quarantine and added they are working with the league on contact tracing to identify high-risk individuals. You're not going to notice a lot of names on San Francisco tonight. They've got 7 guys out. They've got, more than they have 7 guys who touched the ball in the Super Bowl not playing tonight because of injuries, not just COVID. You're not going to notice a lot out there. So need to take a look at that line if you're a betting man. And I do like Green Bay coming off a loss usually. So, but yeah, they're. Oh, and Green Bay running back A.J. Dillon tested positive earlier in the week as well.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Must have been hanging out in Madison.
Maybe. But yeah, so we've got a lot of things to cover today. We're going to have AC Earl in the second hour. He's going to come in studio. It's always good to talk to him. We have a phone call at 12:30. Because speaking of apps, we're going to talk. Last week I talked to you about the Locker Room app, which is kind of a new thing. It's podcasting, but it's inviting people into your world. Like you can do it through your phone or app on your computer, or that type of thing.
Right.
But he's going to explain it more to our listeners, and it might be an app that our listeners want to download and talk about, and it's we hope that they download it, and we want to learn more about it because honestly, I'm trying to figure out a way that we can add one more device that we can put on people's phones to try to beef this up.
Make us more popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that we need it, because locals love us. You know that.
Yeah.
But we're going to take our first break, and we'll be right back here at ESPN 1170 AM.
Jay, I want to talk to our friends out there about Front Street Brewery. Have you had their new beer called the Mahalo?
Yes, I love it.
The Pineapple Radler. If anybody hasn't tried that, you need to check it out. Front Street Brewery, as you know, is the oldest brew pub in Iowa, and it's right along the banks of the mighty Mississippi here in downtown Davenport. Been there since 1992. You can check out their Facebook page for all their food and drink specials, or just go to their webpage, www.frontstreetbrew.com. Get down there, try some Mahalo today. The restaurant is at 208 East River Drive, and the tap room is in the Freight House Complex. So please, hop on down to Front Street Brewery, try some brew or some food today.
You like that? You like that? Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
We're going streaking! Yeah!
Woo!
Hey, this is Goose, PA announcer for the Quad City Storm, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us,
Meet
We're
Carla.
Local.
Hi there.
Carla's 4 daughters keep her pretty busy.
Oops.
Casey's new curbside pickup makes life easier for Carla
Pizza!
and saves her an extra trip to the grocery store. Now, you can add grocery items like bread, drinks, and snacks to your online pizza order, and we'll bring them right to your car with curbside pickup. And for a limited time, get 2 large single-topping pizzas for just $8.99 each. Casey's, here for convenience, here for new curbside pickup, here for good. Available at select locations only.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
If you don't think analytics are a useful tool in winning games in sports, then what you should do is when you go to the racetrack, you should just pick horses based upon which one you think is the prettiest. You should disregard everything else you might find in a racing form. You should pick stocks based upon how much you like the names of the companies. Disregard information that might help you make an informed decision. You wouldn't do that because you're not an idiot, and neither are the people running sports teams and making decisions. Analytics are a great example of something that has turned into a hot-button topic as we've attached a fancy or frightening word to a very simple concept. Analytics are just the things that have happened. That's all they are. They're just telling you what's happened. In the past, this has happened.
Greeny, weekdays at 11, a Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170.
What do you think this letter means?
Looks like they want to kick you out of here.
I'm gonna need some help.
Being in long-term care doesn't mean you lose your rights. Iowa's long-term care ombudsman provides free, confidential help with involuntary discharge from a care facility or assisted living program. Visit our website or call 866-236-1430. That's 866-236-1430.
This is Greeny.
LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to be the best 1-2 punch in basketball again next year, regardless of what the Clippers do, regardless of what they have in Brooklyn, regardless of what they have in Houston, regardless of what they have in Dallas, regardless of anything else that happens.
Greeny, weekdays at 11 on the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170.
Quality craftsmanship, attention to detail, and reliability. These are just a few of the things you will see when you transform your kitchen or bathroom with All-Star Home Services. Mike and his team have over 2 decades of experience remodeling kitchen and baths, and yours could be next. With financing available and $500 off your complete kitchen or bath project for a limited time. Call All-Star Home Services now. All-Star Home Services, 563-299-3786. Or visit all-starhomeservices.com.
Janae and Golick Jr.
Janae, through all of, Russell Wilson, we know he's a lot, from Mr. Unlimited to the weird video announcing his contract staying in Seattle, the bubble water, his bad dance moves behind Sierra's music videos. Through all of it, he's still winning. I would trust him and Tyler Lockett with my PIN number, with any amount of money that I needed in my life. These guys are the surest bet in pro sports right now, and it's nice. We always like to say give people flowers while they can still smell them. Russell Wilson has been this quarterback. This is not a new version of him as far as I'm concerned, but it's a new version of this team putting its offense in his hands. He's getting all of the conversation around him and his ability that he's richly deserved for a while. And so in the interest of giving people their flowers, I'm really happy to see this, on a fundamental level, for a guy who's been playing this kind of ball and been meeting this kind to his team.
Janae and Golick Jr., 306 on the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170.
Your business can have a website that looks great and gets found online. Find out why over 20,000 businesses have chosen Townsquare Interactive for their website design.
Hi, this is Jerry from Fresh Idea Foods. We used Townsquare Interactive. It was easy, simple, and was up and running in no time. We found that it's user-friendly on our side and our customer side.
Make sure your business gets noticed with Townsquare Interactive. For more info, call 563-202-2230 or check out townsquarequadcities.com.
Never miss a thing with our app. Listen live from anywhere in the world and be notified when news breaks. From the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Welcome back, Quad Cityans. This is Don't Hassle Us a Local, AM 1170, the K-Bob, if you will.
Thank you for tuning in to Don't Hassle Us for a Local. You can listen to us on ESPN 1170 AM on your terrestrial radio, or you can listen on the ESPN 1170 AM app or ESPN1170am.com. And also listen to us, watch us on Facebook Live and YouTube channel, Don't Hassle Us for Local. Speaking of apps, at about 12:30, we're going to make a phone call. We're going to call Howard from Locker Room. It's an interesting app. It's all sports related. It's one of some that have been launched lately. But if you didn't listen last week, I told you guys a little bit about it, and I'll give you a quick background. It's a social audio app where fans can talk sports and spontaneously join live conversations. The company behind Locker Room Betty Labs has raised $9.3 million in seed funding led by Google Ventures with participation from Lightspeed Venture Partners. athletes, including Kevin Durant and Baron Davis, also participated in the round. Locker Room Sit said it's the type of thing where it's a second screen companion. The audio, it's basically an audio podcast type of thing, and it's interesting. I have the app. I got on and started. I think it was just Big Ten football, like all these different rooms. I started talking, just listening to this guy, and he was talking to this young lady named Courtney. Well, Courtney works for Locker Room, so then I raised my hand and they let me in, and I said, "Hey, Courtney, not to interrupt the conversation, but I have the show. I'd like to talk to more people about it." And she was very nice. She's like, "Yeah, let's talk off air. Send me your email, follow me on Twitter, or whatever else." And we did that, and then now we're going to talk to the CEO at 12:30, which is coming up soon. So he's going to be giving us a lot more about that, but we can follow up, and he'll take us all through that. But I don't want to take up too much time in between when we talk to him, because I don't know how long we'll have to talk to Howard, and I don't want to flow into getting in when AC gets here. So we can start our pick six.
All right, sounds great. Well, the first game, Jay, that I have down, Seattle at Buffalo. Seattle's favored by 3.
Yes.
Both teams coming off victories last week.
No, I told you this yesterday. The only thing that gives me pause is the West Coast to East Coast travel. But Seattle's just the better team.
I agree.
I know Buffalo has a decent defense, but Russell Wilson has this thing that they call. Have you watched a lot of Seattle games? They have this thing that the way he throws, they now call it the moon ball.
Yeah.
He just launches it up, and I mean DK Metcalf.
Dude.
That guy is a beast.
I know.
So you just throw it up in the air.
I was the one calling that this guy was going to be the best receiver in the league.
And then he
He
struggled for a little bit, and he struggled last year for a little bit. Now they were like, now he can catch everything, outrun anybody. He's ripped too. So he just throws the moon ball. DK runs underneath it. I do like Seattle here. I will give up the points on the road.
I'm with you. Yep. I think that's a no-brainer. All right, moving on. Chicago at Tennessee. Tennessee only favored by 6 in this contest, Jay. Who's quarterbacking for the Bears?
It's still Foles. Yeah.
He got benched last week, though?
No. He just really was. I mean, the Bears were in it. You know what? They ended up losing 26-23 in overtime.
Didn't they bring in Biscuit to run a few plays?
They may have, but it's not like I don't even remember to that point of it. I just know that it's still a lackluster performance. Tennessee at home -6. But yeah, I'm taking Tennessee -6. I'm giving up the points.
Yep, I'm with you. All right, Detroit, if you will, at Minnesota. Minnesota coming out for a miraculous victory at Lambeau Field, where they saw Dalvin Cook run for 4 touchdowns. Only a second player in Vikings history to do that, right?
Yes.
Touch him, Ahmad Rashad.
Yeah, no, the last one to do it was Ahmad Rashad. Yeah, to score 4 touchdowns. Yep.
Anyway, Detroit, I believe, won 2, right? No.
Huh?
Detroit. No, they got beat hard. They lost to Indianapolis. They got slaughtered by Indianapolis. I know Matt Stafford is out. He is on the COVID. They're going to be starting Chase Daniel.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that as well. Yeah, he's on the COVID also.
Yeah, so
Chase Daniel, the Missouri Messiah.
Remember when Iowa beat him?
Yeah,
they just housed him.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. I think that was a Pat team too. Yeah, because who was the great defensive end that played with Pat?
I just know Pat's last.
Adrian Claiborne. They played Missouri in the bowl game.
Yeah, but Pat's last game I believe was Georgia Tech, the Orange Bowl. His senior year was that year.
He didn't play.
He didn't play in the Missouri.
Maybe
one.
It was a different game.
Yeah. I mean, Claiborne was still there. I mean, played in that one, but not Pat. Wasn't there, yeah.
Oh, so Claiborne didn't graduate Pat.
No.
Okay. All right. There you go. Maybe that's it. Listen. Minnesota -4 here. I'll take the Vikings all day in that. I mean, no,
Yeah, we're taking Minnesota at home. Yeah. Minnesota's schedule, we mentioned this. Minnesota has a pretty light schedule coming up. And
Detroit's
I know
beat up, too. Kenny Galladay's out as well. Yeah. And Kenny Galladay's out for sure, and Hawkinson has turf toe.
Yeah, they're gonna do it on purpose just to turn the tide, and Zimmer's there even longer.
Well, this one's easy, Jay.
Yeah.
The Vegas Raiders at the Chargers. This has moved to a pick. Earlier in the week, the Chargers were favored by 1.5.
Why is this one easy?
I don't know.
It looks like smart money is all over
Vegas?
Yeah. Smart money's on Vegas.
So you're taking Vegas?
Am I a pro or a Joe? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't. Gosh darn it all. I'm taking Vegas.
All right. Well, I'm taking the Chargers. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
My boy Justin Herbert. All right. Miami at Arizona. This is going to be a fun one. Arizona is favored by 4.5. I'm big on Miami right now, Jay. You know that.
Tua it wasn't a very good performance.
It wasn't a bad performance either.
No, they got the job done. But, I mean, there was a lot of turnovers that helped them.
Okay, but it's the Rams' defense. It's pretty good defense.
Yeah, but, I mean, also the turnovers by Goff. So, jeez. I think he had like 2 fumbles and 2 interceptions, and he would have had another one, but the guy dropped it, so it would have been 5 turnovers. And 4.5, though. I hate that pause. Oh, my goodness.
Well, I'm going to help you out here.
What are you doing?
I'm taking Miami.
I'm going with the better coach. I'm taking Miami.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the best call to make in that situation.
Viva la Miami. All right, last game on our pick 6 against the line. New Orleans at Tampa Bay. The Saints at the Bucks. Battle of the 2 men going back to forth on the all-time touchdown leader list.
Oh, that thing is
Breedy.
So annoying. There's
Brady.
like a ticker tape thing, like when one passes the other.
Oh, yeah.
It is so annoying. Like, can't we just wait till one's done with the other? Like, they pass each other.
I love it. I think it's great. We're witnessing history.
I heard a good analogy.
We're witnessing history in every play.
I heard a good analogy. It's like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man trading the title off each other back and forth just to follow. Like, it was a pretty decent analogy. I like Tampa Bay in this situation. I like them at home. I like them to cover the spread. And I think it's going to be an easy cover.
I do too. Well, it looks like we only have one game that we disagreed on, so
man,
it's either good or bad.
I know.
All righty, moving on to our over-unders, everybody. I know my buddy Jimmy Mooney out there loves to bet some overs. So I said to Jay, we need to start doing some over-unders. Tried to do a few different games than some that we had picked. I think I only have one on here that we already picked for the spread, but that's okay because I liked it. Jay, Pittsburgh at Dallas, over-under 41.5. How many does Dallas score?
I'm going to try to make this quick. That's exactly the question that you need to have. How many is Dallas going to score? What's Pittsburgh definitely going to get to on Dallas? Start there. What's Pittsburgh going to score? How much?
Well, you figure I think they're going to score at least 6 touchdowns.
Well, can the Cowboys get 1 on that defense? 42, then the over hits. Yeah, the 42 hits.
Yeah, let's just say 5.
42 is a lot.
It is a lot, but I don't think Dallas can score.
I don't think they're going to get oh, man. And Elliott, is he questionable?
Elliott is it. Listen, they have their starting quarterbacks. They don't even know who it is yet.
They haven't decided between those two.
Dude. It's terrible. I dumped every Dallas receiver I have in fantasy because of it. There's no need to have them. They're not going to score. They can't score. It's too easy to just sit there and tee off. They got no O-line. This defense, this is going to be brutal. Yeah, I'm taking the over.
Well, I'll let you know what I'm taking right after we make this phone call.
All right.
I'm going to call Howard from Locker Room.
I just wish you would have guessed.
I hope this guy understands, like, essentials.
The number you have dialed is not in service. Please check the number and try your call again. Thank you.
Like, come on.
What'd you do?
Did I dial the wrong number? Like,
the guy gave you a false number. He didn't like you.
Yeah, hey, buddy. Yeah, we're
I'm
in.
just teasing. Like, come on, Howard. We're trying to make you famous, man. This is the greatest show in the Quad Cities.
The things I do wrong on this show. On live.
Did you dial the wrong number?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Help if we had an engineer. Uh-oh.
Thank you. It would help.
Oh.
Is this Howard?
This is Howard Akumia. How are you?
I'm doing well, Howard. This is Jay Foster on ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle us for local. In studio with me is my partner, T-Roy. Howard, I want to thank you so much for taking your phone call. You're CEO of a company, and I'm overwhelmed that you take time out of your day to talk with us.
Sure, I'm happy to do it. Are we on the air?
You're on the air. Yeah.
We're live, buddy.
Oh,
We
wow.
can't afford an engineer, man. We got to do it every way we can.
Oh, of course. Good afternoon, Iowa.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
all right. Howard, we saw the Axios Sports article about Locker Room last week, and automatically we're intrigued. And I got on I downloaded the app, got on, I think, Big Ten football, and talked to, and Courtney happened to be on there talking to whoever's hosting the page,
Sure.
the room. And then I finally just said, like, hey, finally got in there. Can you explain Locker Room to everybody? Because I'm sure you can do it a lot better than I can. And then we'll ask you some more questions.
Sure. Locker Room simply is an audio-based social network for sports fans, insiders, players, anybody in the world of sports to come together to talk about sports. It's a special place where we can have live conversations about whatever's happening, whether it's trades, news, rumors, games, whatever you want, on a platform with other people who care about and know sports. It's, our whole idea is kind of, we want to democratize the ability to talk about sports. You don't need to have, no offense, guys, you don't need to have your own radio show to be able to get your voice out and have people join the conversation with you. So that's what Locker Room is.
No, and by the way, that's no offense to us whatsoever.
Yeah, we don't consider ourselves professional radio people anyway, so that's perfect.
We actually started off as a local podcast and then worked our way up until they finally just said,
we
hey,
sat
come
outside the radio station and
that's what it was, yeah.
Big for soup until they put us on the air.
That's actually a cool story.
So what I'm trying to so what you can do is you can start a room, right? If you want to, or you can just enter a room.
That's right. You can start a room. You could be like Iowa. You could start a room. You could call it Iowa State football stinks, for example.
Yeah.
Not that I think that, but one could
we
do
do
that. Yeah, I figured. And so you could start that room, and then you started in a channel. Let's say you started in the college football channel, and then everybody who's on the college football channel will get notified that this room started, and they can come in. They can listen to you rant, or they can come up on stage like I'm on the radio with you right now, and they can say, hey, man, I disagree. And you could have the discussion. You can talk about whatever you want. People get in there and talk for hours about all their favorite teams. So it's a really, communal place where you can just have whatever conversation you want. But yeah, so you start a room, you can bring people up from the crowd onto the stage, or you can just stay in the crowd and just listen passively, kind of like the radio.
And then what the listeners do is they press a button. It's like raise your hand, and then the room's creator will pull you in.
Yes, that's exactly right. You can raise your hand to speak, and if the host sees that, they'll see it. They can bring you up on stage if they want to.
How did you guys come up with the idea?
I used to be a tech guy, really. I used to work at Facebook building different products, and while I was there, I had the idea to start building something in sports betting, actually. I wanted to build a product that made it really fun and easy for you to pick up your phone and place a bet without having to do all of bookie and sort of formal betting jiu-jitsu that you have to do. And in building that product, I ended up realizing that the fun part about the product that we had built, we ultimately made a game called Sideline that was a live prediction game for sports fans. But we realized that the most fun part of Sideline wasn't really the game. It was the chat. People were just loving being able to talk to other fans as they were watching the same game. So as a team, we realized, like, look, we care about building for fans. We want to make sports fans happy. And we were like, we need to build an app where it's just chat, basically, where we're just enabling people to talk about games. And we did that, and then we realized it's actually easier to talk than it is to type. And so we took that app and made it audio-based, and that's how you end up with Locker Room.
That's, like, super cool. And I shared it out with friends that we've met throughout the few years we've been on the air that are out there on the West Coast and on the East Coast to say, like, you got to check this out, and people in radio, but people that also write for college sports. In your launch in just a week, how has the growth been?
The growth's been great, man. It's been stellar. Obviously, we have a little bit of a wait list, but we're pulling people off the wait list, and maybe if your station follows us on Twitter, we can release some of your listeners from the wait list pretty early. So they can get on and try it out quickly. But yeah, growth has been great. We're really enjoying where we are right now.
Howard, where are you guys based out of?
Well, we were based out of sunny LA, but now we're fully remote as a team. So we've got employees who work in New York. We got people in the Midwest. We got people in the Bay Area, Southern California. We're quite open people as a team.
That's great.
Yeah, so we'll look you. I know I personally follow Courtney on Twitter, but I'll definitely make sure to follow you guys on it. And I just think it's a neat thing that you guys are doing, and I know a lot of our listeners are getting into, because in our area, Howard, it's like ideas will go from the East Coast, they'll make it Chicago, they'll jump over us, they'll hit you in LA, and then then about 3 years later, they'll rest in Iowa. So we were late to the podcast world about 3 to 4 years ago. And so we're trying to fast forward everybody up to this. And people around here are getting into podcasts. They're starting to create their own podcasts. And of course, they want to, talk about things as well. We're also live right now on Facebook Live and YouTube. And so we'll have a lot of people. So what I like about that is that people in our listeners that leave comments that are involved in our show, that come on our show, because we invite our listeners to come on too. We have an open door policy that they'll be able to get in this, and they'll be able to host their own sites, and they'll be able to let people in their own rooms. Sorry, I said sites, but I'm really excited about letting that happen.
Let me tell you, I'm sympathetic to what you just said, because I went to college in Michigan. I went to Michigan State, and I know the feeling of feeling like, the big trends aren't really made for you in the Midwest, and then it's like skipping over you. And I think that's kind of the beauty of Locker Room in a lot of ways, is it's not picky about who the core audience is. If you know sports and you like sports, you have a chance to be a top creator on the platform. You have a chance to have really good conversations with people. And so, in a way, it's like expertly built for people in a place like Iowa who really know sports, and they just want to talk and connect with other fans. So I suggest everybody who wants to start their own podcast, instead of doing that passively in your room all by yourself, get on Locker Room and build a community and do your podcast live with other people who care. It's more fun that way.
Absolutely. I mean, Howard, you're talking about a show, like, really, our podcast wasn't anything until we made it to Facebook Live and we started to interact with everybody. But the idea that their voice can be heard, because it's basically like a live call-in radio show, but there's multiple voices that can be there, right?
That's right. You can have, basically an infinite number of voices. If you wanted to have 30 people on stage with you, you could. And that's what makes it fun. It's like everybody gets the chance to talk.
Speaking of Michigan State, Sparty's coming to town to play the Hawkeyes this week.
I was waiting for that.
You got any predictions for that one?
Are. I do have some predictions. I think we're going to keep it rolling. Look, we're coming off the back of that hot Michigan win. I think Mel Tucker's got, credibility and respect in that locker room now in a way that he could never. That locker room. You see that? That was a promo.
Good word.
I'm following you.
Yeah.
Right. Mel Tucker has got credibility in that locker room in a way that he just couldn't access before the season and after that Rutgers game. But now I think those guys are going to go out there and fight for him. I think Lombardi's locked in. And so I'm excited. I think we're going to roll over Iowa. No offense, and I'm sorry about that, but it's just about where we are in our season. We're feeling pretty good.
Lombardi's an Iowa kid, though.
Yeah.
You know, he might get the shakes when he comes to Kinnick.
You think so? You think he'll get nervous?
I don't know. He grew up in Des Moines. He probably won't.
Oh, wow. I was on a call with somebody today, and they said Des Moines. I said, are you kidding me? It's Des Moines.
Yeah. Des Moines. I don't know. I don't think they pronounce it like that in France. Oh,
no,
that's great.
I don't even think that.
I think
So, do you think if it wasn't for the 7 turnovers, Michigan State would have beaten Rutgers?
Yeah, I do think so. And I think that I don't even fault them for the 7 turnovers because I just think it's, look, you have a team that was unable to practice as much as even their contemporaries in the Big Ten due to COVID and, you know, a lot of start and stopping on behalf of the Michigan State, athletic administration. So they weren't in sync. They weren't ready for that game. And there's something about taking a brutal loss that allows you to snap to focus very quickly for your next matchup. It's like the embarrassment is so painful that you get it together. And I think that's what we saw out of that team. So I think those 7 turnovers were a fluke or an anomaly. And I think the Michigan State team that we saw last week against Michigan is much more indicative of what we got.
See, I'm hoping we got our starting quarterback is from out where you were currently, or I don't know if you're still there, if you're still in Northern California. So our kid, Spencer Petras, went to the same high school as Jared Goff and broke all his records.
What high school?
It's the Catholic. It was a Catholic something high school, I'm pretty sure. Right, Jay? Or
yeah,
it was a private school. So
I don't know anything about your quarterback. Is he good?
Well, he's supposed to be.
Well, yeah,
it's like what you said in the first game with you guys said. We had some turnovers that weren't his. He's looked a little rusty, as in, he's got a great arm, but he's just kind of missing his target a little bit. He looks like he's a little antsy in the pocket still. But
yep.
I think if he can settle down. I mean, we had a 17-0 lead on Northwestern last week and gave it up. I mean, it's just terrible. We have running.
I watched that game. I was sad for you guys. You should have closed that out.
Well, yeah. I mean, they had 100. It was just terrible. Where did he go, Jay? You're looking up right now.
I'm looking up right now. He went to Marion. He went to Marion Catholic.
Marion Catholic.
Yeah, Marion Catholic. Yep. Yeah. He broke all of his. He broke all of Jared Goff's. Well, he broke like a lot of Goff's records.
Yeah. But either way, so I mean, the kid's got talent. So it's just funny that you have an Iowa kid helming your team, and we got a NoCal kid helming ours. So it's going to be fun to watch.
It's a nice mix. I love it.
So if Michigan State wins, the all-time record between the two will be tied at 23-23-2. If not, Iowa continues to hold the advantage. So.
Oh gosh! All right, let's tie it up.
Before we take up any more of your time, how's the basketball team going to look?
Oh, we're gonna look crispy. I think it's going to be a good year for Michigan State basketball for sure. I'm still waiting to see what actually happens with Amani Bates, but I feel comfortable with where Michigan State basketball is. We had a good recruiting offseason, so I feel good.
Yeah, we're pretty hyped here in Iowa. We think we got a good team.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see it.
Hopefully, yeah.
Thank you. Go ahead.
No, I said hopefully it turns out like we think. So it's one of the few times in a while that we've had a team that's top 5 for sure. So it's nice.
All right, Howard. Before I let you go, let's talk about it one more time. The app is called Locker Room.
The app is called Locker Room. It's available only in the Apple App Store right now. We're coming to Android very soon. Locker Room, look it up. Talk sports live with other fans and other insiders, journalists, whatever, and really get a chance to get your voice heard and talk about your favorite teams, games, trades, news, rumors. Follow us on Twitter at Locker Room App for some funny takes and to see some of the upcoming content that we've got. I'm excited to see some Iowa fans on there because that's a fan base we haven't tapped into yet. But Iowa sports are awesome, so would love to see you guys on there.
All right,
right on. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate talking to you, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
Take care out there, okay?
Yes, sir. You too.
Yep. Have a great day. Thanks. That's Howard from Locker Room. He was awesome.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. You can see why. You can hear his excitement in sports, and that's what he brings to the.
I wanted to ask him though if he ever saw Zuckerberg in his FE flip flops
when he was working for them.
Yeah.
Just ask him questions about Zuckerberg. I'm sure.
I know. I didn't want to do it though.
All right.
I figured you'd give me a sideways look.
Let's take a break, and we'll come back. We'll do our pick 6 over-unders. And I'm going to follow, while I'm on break, we're going to follow Locker Room app on Twitter.
Jay, I want to talk to the people about a company that we just made a large purchase from this week. Tri-City Equipment. Been there since 1934, serving the Quad Cities, everybody. Restaurant stuff with, like, kitchen cookware, refrigeration, tableware, chinaware, furniture. So that's what we bought big. Harrington's Pub is having a huge, Jay.
Yeah.
All of them. Harrington's Pints, Oscars, getting new chairs, but all new tables and chairs going into Harrington's, and it was great. I called down there. Tara took care of me. 563-322-5382. It's awesome. They match anything online for pricing, so there's no need to shop outside of our Quad Cities. And if you just want to go down and check it out, talk to them. If you want to look at some of the catalogs they have, go down to 527 West 4th Street, and you can see the newly remodeled 2,400 square foot showroom with 1,600 items in stock. Remember, the showroom hours are 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and the address, once again, is 527 West 4th Street. So please get down and check out our friends at Tri-City Equipment.
We're going streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium. Come on, everybody!
You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
Woo! This is Tom Kakert from HawkeyeReport.com, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
Renewal by Anderson. When it came time to replace our old drafty windows, we opted for quality with style, installed by professionals.
Renewal by Anderson.
I'm Sam Hare with Renewal by Anderson. We're counting down to Black Friday with huge savings. Get $350 off every window and $900 off every patio door. During the Black Friday sale, take advantage of our special financing options with no money down, no payments, and no interest for 25 months. That's over 2 years. Don't let the cold weather stop you from making improvements to your house. Our cold weather installation method will protect your home. We'll do one window at a time to ensure that your home's not exposed to the elements. Counting down to Black Friday with huge savings, you can count on Renewal by Anderson. Visit us at our showroom or online at renewalbyanderson.com.
Renewal by Anderson. We love our new windows.
The Max Kellerman Show.
Kendrick Perkins.
Max, you argued me down on First Take about how good of a player Chris Middleton was.
No, I didn't.
And I told you, yes, you did. And I told you that he wasn't that type of guy, right?
Just making stuff up now.
Play. Oh, I'm making stuff up.
I argued for Chris Middleton. No, I said Chris Middleton should be at best the third best player on a championship team. You need another dude who can go get his own shot and do it on a higher level than Middleton if you want to pair him with Giannis to win a championship. I never said anything different than that. I wasn't thinking the Bucks were going to win a title this year.
So did you have a bus coming out of the East?
Yep. I sure did. Shut up, Perk. Why are you bringing up old stuff?
The Max Kellerman Show. Weekdays at 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Join the millions of people who will get their flu shot this year. It's the best way to keep yourself and those around you healthy this flu season. And it may be available at no cost to you. The flu shot lowers your chances of getting sick, and it offers the best protection, especially for people at a higher risk of health problems from the flu, like children, seniors, or people who are pregnant or have a chronic illness. Show you care about your friends and family members. Check with your doctor's office or pharmacy to get your flu shot today. Brought to you by Iowa Total Care.
I've seen the worst things that can possibly happen. This isn't even close to that.
He's back on your radio.
Greeny.
I have always felt basketball is a game where the team that has the best player wins. The Lakers would have the 2 best players.
Greeny, covering the top stories with the biggest names, plus breaking news.
Only in football do we wonder this aloud, and I just thought it was worth spelling out all of the ways in which Brady changed everything.
Greeny, weekdays at 11 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170. This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
If you don't think analytics are a useful tool in winning games in sports, then what you should do is when you go to the racetrack, you should just pick horses based upon which one you think is the prettiest. You should disregard everything else you might find in a racing form. You should pick stocks based upon how much you like the names of the companies. Disregard information that might help you make an informed decision. You wouldn't do that because you're not an idiot, and neither are the people running sports teams and making decisions. Analytics are a great example of something that has turned into a hot button topic as we've attached a fancy or frightening word to a very simple concept. Analytics are just the things that have happened. That's all they are. They're just telling you what's happened. In the past, this has happened.
Greeny, weekdays at 11, the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
When you own a business, every precious second of your life is spent focusing on how to make it successful and profitable. You spend so much time worrying about making things right, the last thing you need to worry about is when things go wrong. That's where we come in. Jorgensen Insurance, our worldwide resources allow us to give your business the most comprehensive and cost-effective commercial insurance plan anywhere. Online at jorgenseninsurance.com. Now, get back to work.
Download our app today and listen to sports from anywhere in the world. This is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
All right, everybody, we are back here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Dish. I want to thank Howard from Locker Room for giving us his time and talking to us. Hopefully everybody out there that wants to get that, it is now available through iTunes for your iPhone and will be launching soon on Android if you are a Neanderthal and you use Android.
Yeah.
Just teasing.
But
about the Android.
Oh, I downloaded it.
You got it now?
No, I downloaded it that day. I was on top of it, but I don't know where it says my channels because I know I was in Big Ten football is one of them. Yeah, so there's members in here, and then you just search through the app, and you can follow certain people, make some friends out there. It's neat. I like where he's at and everything, and like I said, if we can figure out a way to loop this whole thing into, and maybe it'd be just people yelling or whatever else. Who knows? Can you imagine the conversation? What if we stumbled across another Ziggy over this thing?
You know we could.
I know. 12:53 on November 5th. It's a wonderful 68 degrees. Supposed to hit 70 here soon.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Might take my shirt off, drive around.
Do
topless.
it. Take the top off the Jeep. Take the shirt off. Do it.
Yeah.
Let's go around in the beautiful QC.
Ooh, ladies, drink it in.
All right, we did our pick six before we talked to Howard. Run down again how we did on the pick six. What we picked.
The first pick six: Seattle at Buffalo. Seattle -3. We both took Seattle. Chicago at Tennessee. Tennessee -6. We both took Tennessee. Detroit at Minnesota. Minnesota -4. We both took the Vikings. The Vegas Raiders at the Los Angeles Chargers is a pick'em. Jay took the Raiders. I took the Chargers. Miami at Arizona. Arizona by 4.5. We both took Miami. And then New Orleans at Tampa Bay, and we both took Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay -4. Right before we went on the line with our friend Howard, we're having the over-unders. 6 over-unders we're going to pick.
Yeah, you started
Pittsburgh at Dallas. The over-under is 41.5, and I'm going over. Pittsburgh destroys Dallas. 56-0.
It's really about how much Pittsburgh wants to pour it on. And then if Dallas can muster a touchdown. I think 6 touchdowns is a lot for Pittsburgh. But I'm going to follow, and I'll do the over. Even if they get to 35, and if it's 35-7, get your over. So
yeah,
that could be a pick six, a punt return. none of that's really happening. But
I don't know. I doubt it, but we'll see. All right, Jay. This is going to be a good one. Seattle at Buffalo. Over under 55.
All right. Yeah.
So between the two teams, is there going to be a
I don't think
combination
Seattle
of
doesn't have a very
touchdowns?
good defense, so Josh Allen can throw for 2 and probably score 1, so they can get to 21. And then
Can Seattle get 34 or 35?
that's the thing. That's the question right there, which I think they can. So I'm going to... Everyone likes the overs, though. It's just hard to say under. 55. Let's see. When the season started, the average was 47. Within 3 weeks, it had moved up to 51. And there's no way it's bumped any more further than that. Buffalo can get to 21. Seattle, they have to get to 35. Or if it's 31, no. You have to get to 21.
28 to 27.
Yeah. All right. I'll take the over.
You take the over?
Yeah, somebody's going to be an under here soon.
I think that's going to be an over as well. I feel that's a 30-27 game.
Here's your under game.
All right, Baltimore at Indy. Indy 41 points by themselves last week against the Twa.
Yeah, but Baltimore's a lot different, and Indy's a lot better defense. Is a good defense. So, and this is the hangover game, right?
Yeah. Two good defenses, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm looking more at like 20 to 17. This is the under game.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, Carolina at Kansas City. Carolina at Kansas City over under 52.5.
Kansas City is getting to 42 no matter what.
You think?
Yes, I mean, they're good for 38 to 42 every week. Let's take a look. Let me pull up there while you're talking that up. Let me pull up their
weekly scoring.
Yeah,
their worst week was, I think, against the Chargers.
Well, that was week 1, but that was still in.
No, that wasn't week 1.
You sure?
Positive.
All right. Well, let's pull this up here. You tell the people what you think, and then I'll pull up the schedule here.
Here's what I think.
I like to look it up.
52.5. Carolina hasn't been scoring a lot of points. McCaffrey's coming back. Maybe. But I think he's going to be limited. I'm taking the under here. I think this feels like a 35 to 10 game.
All right, so you're right. It was the Chargers was week 2. 34 points against Texans, 23 against the Chargers, 34 against the Ravens, 26 against the Patriots, 40 against the Raiders, 26, 43 against the Broncos, 35. So like I said, in this game I think they're good for that. But let me
look at Carolina.
Yeah, their defense, what they're doing. I mean, I could do the fun thing and be like, well, Carolina's DVOA, and then I'd have to figure out what DVOA meant to
How many
explain
points
it.
has Carolina been scoring?
They're giving up, you mean?
No, how many do they score each week?
They scored... Carolina scored 30 against the Raiders. They scored 17 against the Buccaneers. They scored 21 against the Chargers, 31 against the Cardinals, 23 against the Falcons, 23 against the Bears, 27. And they're in their 20s consistently. So...
You can take the over?
Yeah, that's got to be an over, right? I might... at how much again?
52.5.
Yeah, that's a really good over bet.
All right, I'm just calling it under. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right, Denver at Atlanta.
Do not like this one.
50.
50's too much.
50. You're saying under?
Yeah, I think Locke is coming off a good game, but that's another hangover game. They're traveling to Atlanta. Yeah, even if nope, it's an under game for me.
I'm taking an over on that one.
Who you think someone's going to get to 28-25?
I feel it's like 28 to 27 or something like that. 28-24. There's 52.
Interesting bet.
All right. Houston at Jacksonville. 50 and a half.
Who did I tell you was quarterbacking for Jacksonville? Mike Glennon?
Yeah.
All right, Houston. Nope, under.
Yep. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
All right. Well,
so do we only go against in one or two?
Let's see. Same.
Listen to us.
Different, same.
Oh, good. No one wants to hear that agree-a-rea or whatever else.
Agree-a-rea?
Yeah.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I just called it.
I like it.
And not good news or whatever else. The Chicago Bears have paused all in-person football activities and closed team facility on Thursday. Yeah,
they closed their team facility.
After another player tested positive for COVID-19, the team announced. The Bears said, this morning we were notified that another Bears player has tested positive for COVID-19. As a result, the club has decided to pause all in-person football activities and close Hallis Hall. Today's practice has been canceled and all meetings will be conducted virtually. The player who tested positive and all close contacts have been contacted and have already begun self-isolation. We will continue to work closely with the NFL medical experts and follow the league's intensive protocol. The league and safety of our team, the health and safety of our team, players, and staff are our highest priority. So the Bears have previously placed 2 players on the reserve COVID-19 list on Tuesday. They're scheduled to play Tennessee. We've talked about that. Kickoff will be at noon Sunday. Coach Nagy's gonna address the media on a Zoom call later on Thursday. So keep your eye on that, Bears fans. And I mean, San Francisco's going tonight. San Fran Green Bay game seems like it's gonna be all right, but we don't want to lose another game at all because of that, not one bit. So you don't like to see that, don't like to hear it, and geez Louise, it's gonna be. I want it all to go away, T. Roy. I know I'm not the only one, but who knows if that's gonna happen. Big football game this weekend. That's not Iowa versus Michigan State. Clemson and Notre Dame.
Ooh.
No Trevor Lawrence, right?
Yep. No sunshine.
No.
Ain't no sunshine when he's gone.
But they've got a pretty decent quarterback, the backup.
I would assume so, right?
Mm-hmm. His name is DJ Uiagalelei.
Ting ting walla bing bang.
Gulule. They call him Big Cinco.
What?
Big Cinco.
Big Five?
Yep.
Why do they call him Big Five?
He's 6'4" and 250 pounds.
He's a monster.
He is a monster.
And his name's Ting Tang Walla Walla Bing Bang?
They just call him Big Cinco.
Yeah, I would have to
DJ Uiagalelei.
Ting Tang Walla Walla Bing Bang. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, he got his first Power 5 scholarship offer in 6th grade, and he had a half dozen more before he started high school. He's a good kid. But I mean, we have Trevor Lawrence, who's probably going out there. But
and this kid's a freshman.
Probably is he a freshman or redshirt freshman?
God,
yeah. I know. So I'm excited. I didn't even pay attention to this kid.
He's as big as most defensive ends.
Yes. Yeah, he played baseball as a freshman in high school. He originally just wanted to play baseball or whatever else, but he finally decided to stick with one.
Oh no.
Yeah. So if you're a Notre Dame fan, this isn't going to be a walk in the park.
No, it's going to be rough.
Mm-hmm. He wears the number 5 because he grew up rooting for USC and he loved Reggie Bush. In fact, he wanted to be a USC Trojan, but overall,
didn't recruit him.
I don't know what exactly happened. He almost went to Alabama before he did this. Before he went to Clemson, so yeah. So Notre Dame fans, they might think this is going to be their walk to the ACC title game, but they're running into a big roadblock of a man.
El Cinco.
Big Cinco.
Oh, Big Cinco.
Yeah, it's Big Cinco, not El Cinco. All right, we're gonna take a break. Our second break of the first hour. Our first break of the first hour here on ESPN 1170 AM. You're listening to Don't Hassle for Local.
All right, Jaybird. The voting is all done, and Locals Love Us has all of their new guides out across the Quad Cities. If you grab one and check it out, they have an easy-to-navigate table of contents to help you find what you're looking for. Or you can go to localslovers.com and click on the Quad Cities and browse your favorites. It's easy to use, and they're even ranking the most popular places for you. So please check them out. My buddy Chopper at Locals Lovers, they're your guide to the best.
We're going streaky! Yeah!
You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
This is Randall, the QC hot dog guy. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
The Circle Tap in Davenport is your place to catch all the action this football season. Enjoy $2 cans for every Iowa and Iowa State game and watch every NFL game with the NFL Sunday Ticket on one of their 16 flat-screen TVs. Get $2 domestic cans and $6 pulled pork sandwiches and fries every Sunday. Book your holiday party now and enjoy the heated patio for your next event. Enjoy great food, great drinks, and great friends all season long at the Circle Tap, West Locust Street, Davenport.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg. If you don't think analytics are a useful tool in winning games in sports, then what you should do is when you go to the racetrack, you should just pick horses based upon which one you think is the prettiest. You should disregard everything else you might find in a racing form. You should pick stocks based upon how much you like the names of the companies. Disregard information that might help you make an informed decision. You wouldn't do that because you're not an idiot, and neither are the people running sports teams and making decisions. Analytics are a great example of something that has turned into a hot button topic because we've attached a fancy or frightening word to a very simple concept. Analytics are just the things that have happened. That's all they are. They're just telling you what's happened. In the past, this has happened.
Greeny, weekdays at 11, a Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170.
Meet Carla.
Hi there.
Carla's 4 daughters keep her pretty busy.
Oops.
Casey's new curbside pickup makes life easier for Carla. Pizza! And saves her an extra trip to the grocery store. Now, you can add grocery items like bread, drinks, and snacks to your online pizza order, and we'll bring them right to your car with curbside pickup. And for a limited time, get 2 large single-topping pizzas for just $8.99 each. Casey's, here for convenience, here for new curbside pickup, here for good. Available at select locations only.
Premier Metal Art is now licensed and trademarked with the University of Iowa to produce and sell Hawkeye's metal art. Made here in the Quad Cities. Order your customized fire pit in 3 different sizes, perfect for tailgating. Premier Metal Art also has Hawkeye's multi-layer pieces, perfect for your home and man cave. It's not too early to order for Christmas, so get your custom Hawkeye's order in now. Call 563-345-9500. Premier Metal Art, Eldridge, Iowa. On Facebook or online at qcpremier.com. Finish your holiday shopping today.
Raising the white flag. Not a good-ass time. Raising the white can. A good-ass time. Good-ass beer. Have a good-ass time.
Good Ass Beer is now available at Hy-Vee Wine and Spirits in the Quad Cities and Clinton area. Clinton Liquor and Convenience, Central Store in Moline, and North Scott Foods in Eldridge. Good Ass Beer.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed. Also, the Army National Guard's education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Iowa Army National Guard. Aired by the Iowa Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you're talking, they will hear you every single time.
Oh, we're getting killed.
Yeah, well, Kyle's not here.
How come?
Kicked off the team. Didn't Tim tell you? Kyle and some other kids got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Come on, it's a first offense, right?
That we know of. But why should that matter? He knew not to drink. I've made it clear to Matt that's what we expect from him. What have you said to Tim?
Nothing really. You know, a lot of kids try it at this age, so...
Yeah, well, a lot of kids don't try it too. I'm not saying that Matt's gonna be this perfect kid, but if I don't tell him what we expect and why he shouldn't drink, how's he gonna know?
You think kids that age really listen?
They never admit it, Bill, but they hear more than you think.
Talk. They hear you. For more information about talking with kids about underage drinking, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Can't leave the office during lunch? Well, you can still listen to Don't Hassle Us. We're local from noon to 2 on Alexa. Download the skill and just tell Alexa to play ESPN 1170 AM to never miss a thing from the Quad Cities sports leader. From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB Davenport.
Welcome back to Don't Hassle for Local here on ESPN 1170am.com. I want to remind you guys, it's a beautiful day out. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. We've got throughout the entire weekend, right?
Yeah, let me
it's supposed
check
to be 70
the weather, Jay,
through 70s through
while
the
you're
weekend.
looking that up.
I think it's not till Wednesday that it goes down. So you got to go visit our friends out at Hidden Hills Golf Course. They're located at 4335 Indiana Avenue in Bettendorf, Iowa, just north of the TBK Plex. You want a tee time or anything like that, go ahead and give them a call at 563-332-5616. Check them out at hiddenhills-golf.com.
All the way through Monday, Bird.
All the way through Monday. Love it.
Yep. Beautiful.
They've got practice area. They got 4 bonus holes out there. Mike always talks to us. Actually, next week we're going to talk to Mike because we have the Masters next week, buddy.
Oh, my God. I forgot about that.
Yes, Masters. You're going to see Augusta in the fall.
I know. I can't wait. Do you think they have a bunch of stuff like that at there?
Stuff like that?
I don't know. What do you got there, bud?
What
is
banner.
that? That's a nice banner.
Yeah.
Do you need some tags?
AC just got in the studio. We're just going to wait till he sits down and sets everything up. But, yeah, no, it's a beautiful golf course out there. And call out there for any rates or any questions that you have. If you have anything, I'm sure they're working with social distancing and everything else. Mike talks to us about it. And we'll talk to him next week when we do our DFS. So we'll talk to him. So, again, that's Hidden Hills Golf Course at 4335 Indiana Avenue in Bettendorf, Iowa. The number there is 563-332-5616. Get out, get some fresh air, enjoy your time, play some golf.
Enjoy while you can.
Yeah. So earlier in the show, if you miss it, you can always go back to Facebook Live or YouTube and watch it. We had Howard on from Locker Room, the app that brings fans in to kind of host their own type of show. And so we want to thank him for that. He did a great job, and he's a Michigan State fan. Well, that was probably my favorite part when we stumbled upon that he was a Michigan State fan. It just happens that we're playing.
Alumni.
Yeah, alumni, yeah.
I know. We had to point out that his team sucks.
No, he's pretty excited about him.
He was cool. I didn't say anything bad about Michigan State. I bit my tongue.
I like how we read the room right away, and he's like, well, if you want to start a site that says Iowa State sucks. So he has to know. Like, he had to know the geography. Yeah, like Eastern Iowa compared to that. Because I did write in the email.
Well, it's a Hawkeye State.
Eastern Iowa. Well, not all the time, though.
Well, it should be.
I know.
Speaking of Hawkeyes, I like watching AC work here.
Yeah. While he does that, I'm going to change our thing.
Yeah, change our cameras so we can watch him work, too. So they know why I'm so distracted.
Yeah.
Hey, I've hosted enough events. I know how to hang a banner.
That a boy.
Pop his mic up for a bird. Well, yeah, so if you can see, if you're on Facebook Live, if you're not, I'll tell you. So AC brought in this awesome banner. It's in class with Professor Earl, and it's part of his Venom Sports training. So if you go to www.venomsportstraining.com, you can probably see this, and it's pretty cool. It's a lot of pictures with AC and the kids that he's been working with.
And camps and classes I spoke at. Some of my book covers. My own kids. My daughter, who's Lawrence. My son Kareem. My daughter Casey somewhere. Casey here. Yeah. all my NBA.
That's great.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. AC's in the studio with us just to catch up, talk, and then we're going to put together a show afterwards, his own podcast that we worked on a couple weeks ago. Some things held us up, but now we're back and we're running and got some ideas. And now I'm really excited about trying to figure out a way to work locker room with you, AC. So that's the idea that we've been trying to sit on, trying to get involved in. But AC, how have things been, buddy?
Oh, a lot of sports, a lot of things happened since I've been.
That's right.
I did predict my Dodgers coming back. So I sent my ticket in last week, my winning ticket. So I'll be collecting on that. And I did actually get my first check from my Laker bet. I got my check today.
So did you have someone in Vegas make a bet for you?
No, I was in there. I was on camp business, meeting with my Phenom scout who's coming out to work my next camp that I had, or in 2 camps in December. So I was walking through the Mandalay, and I said, let me go to the sports book, and I made a prop bet.
You made a bet, and then you sent in a winning ticket.
Yeah. So I was nervous because
Me too.
I was like, is it still valid? And they said, yeah, because the season didn't get canceled.
Oh, yeah.
It just got postponed. But yeah.
That's awesome.
Now you got the Dodgers.
I got that. Yep, I got that ticket I sent in. So
LA's just eating up all the championships this year.
Hey, you just play the long game. You play the long game. You play the long game.
There you go.
Well, we'd be talking about, that's the thing, when the Dodgers won, now you're looking at LA and you're like, oh, are they the sports city? Because Tampa Bay there for a while, they were flirting with it because they won in hockey.
Yeah.
And then if they would have won the World Series, and then you have the Tampa Brady Buccaneers, that would be the other hot spot. So, yep, LA got it. The Lakers, the Dodgers. AC's making more money right before our eyes.
Yeah.
Sending in
I
tickets
told you, like Dodgers, man,
checks.
3-1, down 3-1.
Yeah, you got it. How are things going in the camp world?
Good. We're just getting a new event. I'm working on a Martin Luther King Day event. I don't know where I'm going to host that at, but it's just everybody's fighting for gym space, as we said before, and the biggest thing is what fall sports or winter sports. We're waiting on the winter sports deal. I think Illinois is fighting with the governor or something.
Are they? Yeah.
Right. And Iowa, we still got the good nod, and so that will affect a lot what kids are going to do if winter sports are canceled. Whether they're going to do more camps and play in more tournaments, and so it'd be good for somebody, and it's going to be bad for somebody.
Yeah.
Now, you're based out of Iowa City and then here, but you do stuff in Illinois. How much do you pay attention to what's going on in Illinois with their government?
Huge, because we're bordering states. Yes. So I mean, Wisconsin is huge for us. Minnesota, not so much. Missouri is big for us. Illinois is huge. Just whatever the neighboring states, because you got teams that go back and forth, and there's kids that play on teams back and forth. So. The neighboring Midwestern states, everybody's watching that because that's where some of the big tournaments are held. Kansas City, Omaha, those are huge tournament venues. Good teams go and travel there, and other teams come and travel from there. So it's very important that you watch that because, what's happening is, and could be happening, is teams are infecting other teams as they're going and coming. And I think we're seeing that with Wisconsin a little bit, the Wisconsin teams, because the COVID outbreak is huge in Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah, obviously with the Badgers and their football team.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about college basketball starting soon. Iowa's looking good.
Yeah, I mean, college basketball is scaring me. I don't know if we're going to play, if it's going to be the mini bubbles. I was kind of upset that Disney canceled their mini bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Deal, which I thought was a great idea, and I thought that may be a precursor for the tournament, of how they're going to do the tournament, to see if that works, to see if that doesn't work, if it's easy to police. Going back in the summer, I liked what was that league, the $2 million league? Was that TBT?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that worked. They put 60 teams in a bubble. 30 teams, I think 60 to 30 teams in a bubble. If you had a positive test, your team got disqualified, which I don't want to agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that format worked, and that went well. They tested every day. They locked the teams up. If you lost, you had to go home right away. They had to come home. They had to come to the games with the bags packed, which I think is pretty odd. But NCAA basketball is scaring me a little bit. I hope they go, but I mean, with all the stuff we're seeing with football, I'm doubtful.
Well, if there's a third wave,
I'm doubtful we're going to get an entire Big Ten season for sure. I mean, that's
right. I mean, we're seeing. Will teams opt out because they can't win? Like they have no shot, right? So. So there's talk of Wisconsin in football, right? Of saying, okay, if we can't get to the 6 games and we can't go to the Big Ten tournament, why are we assuming the risk?
You would think that the Big Ten then would step in and be like, listen, you guys committed to a season. You're going to play the game scheduled if you can, if you don't have a COVID issue.
Right, and what does it all come down to? TV money.
Right.
Right. And so what does Big Ten do say? Okay, fine, then you don't get your cut of the $60 million that every school gets.
That's what I would hold over their head. Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
So
because they can't make it doesn't mean they should forfeit their game against, let's say, Iowa or whatever.
Exactly.
Or screwed somebody else
exactly.
out.
But so, for instance, we've already seen how many teams say they're not playing sports. We've seen 2 colleges do that, 2 D1s.
If Wisconsin were to fold, then it should just count as a forfeit, not a no contest. You know what I'm saying to the other teams?
I would agree with that because you started the season.
Yes.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not aware of the other teams that have
I think
shut
there's
down.
2 teams 2 colleges have said no. I think one was a West Coast team.
Okay.
Like a California Pacific or something like that.
Okay.
And then there was a black school, HSBC.
Yeah, that one. You're right. Yep.
Right. So I think those are the 2 schools that have said now that we're just not going to do it.
I'm not aware too much of what's going on in the college basketball world outside of other conferences outside of the Big Ten right now. I don't know if the smaller conferences, your non-blue bloods,
right?
How they're looking at doing things. The ones where maybe St. Mary's plays, or we know Gonzaga is playing,
right?
But just smaller conferences. I don't know if they're going forward, which I am assuming they are because all their football came back. The MAC came back, Midwest Conference came back. So I'm assuming they're going forward. But with the third wave coming, it's a tough thing to get.
My daughter at Lawrence, we're scared. Apparently, a lot of NAIA's Division IIIs out east have called it, and my daughter's in NAIA or Division III at Lawrence University, and we're scared they're going to call it. She's second all-time leading scorers, and all she needs is 200 points to be number 1. And she's already second or third in maybe 50 categories, and so she could be the all-time best player. But she might not get her senior season.
Oh.
And they offered her a chance to come back,
but
but she doesn't know if she wants to come back, and because she'll have already graduated. She's on track to graduate, so it's a huge mess.
Got that blanket year, get that master's.
Well, they don't offer the masters.
Oh.
I know that would be the caveat right there. Right. Yeah, that'd be the caveat. So I don't know. So it's a lot of uncertainty. It's just I think with college basketball, so much money as we're seeing with college football that there's going to be some playing of games because their money is out there, the TV deals. As I always say, the check's been cashed.
Yeah.
So it's no going back. Gatorade, Under Armour, Nike, Adidas, Progressive, they all want return on that money.
I'm trying to look. I know St. Ambrose just pushed back basketball games. I'm trying to see if they canceled them.
I haven't heard.
It was in the paper today.
Oh, really?
But I don't have the paper in front of me. So they're pushing them back, I believe. They're not canceling anything, but they're going to push back the start.
Yeah.
I know the headline said something like that. But hey, I love you, Koss and Quad City Times, but your website is not the easiest to navigate, and there's way too many digital ad pop-ups, and I know that's what keeps you guys in business, but it's about annoying enough right there. But hold on a second. It's still,
You want me to try to find it?
Whatever. Like it's just too much to navigate for me. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they're pushed back. I hope they're not canceled. So yeah, it's weird because in my world, my son wrestles, and they're doing they're going through all kinds of protocols. Like parents can't be in the room, which is a good thing, and hopefully they stick to that. And there's they have to wear the mask to and from, and I think there's a break every 15 minutes to clean it down, which they clean the restroom room every time. But I still was cautious.
Yeah,
to the point where
everybody's cautious. I mean, my son's at high school, and cross country kid got it. So I mean, they're all the kids are friends. Mm-hmm. They're cohabitating with each other. So I mean, as parents, we're hugely cautious. I mean, I might get an email a week email a week on my COVID procedures. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's what I was like. So I talked to my wife, and I'm like, well, what do we do? And she's like, well, he's got to do something. I'm like, well, what if we can't do something? Like, we want him to be active. So I just kind of said, and it just started this week. I said, I just want to see how the first week goes. I'll talk to other parents and then dive in. And it sounds like it's pretty chill and it's all good. So I think we're going to do it. But I mean, that's what you got to do. You just kind of have to weather the storm the way you want to.
Yeah.
And people don't, and like you said, you get emails every week.
Yeah. And we placed all the COVID protocol on, and, I bring my thermometer and spray the balls down, and, we take breaks and sanitizer. I mean, we do the best. We urge the parents to self-disclose, and I've had some self-disclosure, which was great. We've had some kids sign up for camp or training and say, they were exposed, we're going to miss this week, or we had some parents sign up and then they don't like the numbers. They'll email me and say, hey, how many numbers do you have? I'll tell them. I'll be forthright with them, and they'll say, all right, we don't feel comfortable. Would you, give us a credit on another camp, which we have. I mean, I've given probably, since COVID hit, I've probably given 15 credits.
Okay.
And refunds back. So I have no problem giving refunds or credits back, if a parent feels, uneasy or kid gets sick last minute.
AC, when you do the camps, who all do you have with you, like as other instructors at the camp?
It depends. I go out and I recruit a lot of travel team coaches and trainers. So I stay away from the dad, the guy who wants to coach because his daughters or son is in camp. I stay away from that model. All my coaches have been training, either training or camps or run camps of their own. And so I'm fortunate to have Barnstormer coaches, fortunate to have, Team Iowa coaches, people who have Martin Brothers, people who have coached and trained for big-time programs, Iowa Attack, Kingdom Hoops, who've worked with those programs. And so, it's worked well because it puts the onus off of me a lot. I kind of direct what I want and tell the coaches this is what we want to do. And then, the coaches kind of do their own thing, and I allow them to kind of do their own thing because they're qualified to do it, and that's worked well.
Do you then, from that point, do you kind of focus on the big men, or do you?
No, we don't. I mean, because the game has changed, and I think we've talked about that. The game is more of a five in, five out. Everybody can shoot. Everybody wants to dribble. I will do some big men stuff if I have big men or big players there or some posts. I'll add it in, but I don't focus on that at all.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just a different game. Every now and then I will get parents that will specifically sign up for that, and I'll do some of that. But a great example was Megan Gustafson a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I know the coach who coached her in AAU. Great coach, and he was a post player. He taught her great post moves, great things in the post, but he didn't teach her any perimeter game. And then when she got drafted, she was drafted 8th or 9th in the WNBA, and then she got cut 2 weeks later, first, because she couldn't do anything perimeter-wise. And she kind of came back and retooled her game a little bit for a few months, and then came back and played well. So that's a great example. You could be All-American. She was All-American, I think maybe Wooden Player of the Year, All Big Ten. But her game was limited. And when you go to the next level, you can't have a limited game. Your game will get exposed, and that's what happened. And so I tell parents all the time, yeah, we can do post stuff or we can do guard stuff, but you got to be able to do everything in this new basketball. And if you can't, you won't do well.
So do you think, I mean, forever has the game changed? Are we ever going to see the days when you have a guy like Kareem in the paint with the sky hook?
I don't think so, because parents and kids like to see things of what's going on, and they pick up on trends, and so it's just like if you look at different players from different eras, they emulate. They emulate different players, and I don't think there's nobody to really emulate anymore that the current players can see, right? Like, I mean, Shaq was very dominant. You had a little bit of that where you had some tall players maybe in the late 2000s, but you didn't really have, after Shaq, who was the next great dominant center in the NBA? There really wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, Duncan was a power forward.
Yeah.
And Dwight Howard never really panned out.
Right. And so,
and then who was the kid from Ohio State got hurt a lot?
Greg Oden.
Greg Oden.
Right.
So you never knew what was going to happen.
And that's not necessarily the glamorous life to block shots and rebound.
Well, you would know.
Well, I know. I mean, I joke all the time. Lou Henson told me, hey, if you come here and rebound and block shots for the Flying Illini guys and let them dunk and have all the fun, we'll win. We'll go to the Final Four. And they did it without me. But I didn't want to do that, right? Like, I wanted to get the ball and do some things too. And so, yeah. I don't think we're going back.
What you're saying, there's very few people with the mentality of Rodman.
Yes, right. And that's because he was limited.
Yeah.
And he knew he was limited. And coaches told him he was limited. And he understood, hey.
Yeah, he didn't have a great shot. He had a terrible shot.
Yeah. And so I just think that era is over. And everybody spoons that, like when you hear like Maker, right? And Thon Maker, these guys who are 6'9", 7 foot, bowl, who can put the ball on the floor and shoot.
That's Manute's son?
Mm-hmm. Manute's son, right. And I was high on him, remember, last year?
Yeah.
You were?
And he's going to do well. I think he's going to do tremendous.
Now, how tall is he?
He's 7'2".
And he can handle the rock?
Oh, man. Did you see him in the bubble?
No,
oh, my
I did
gosh.
not.
Yeah, he started some games for Denver in the bubble.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. He plays like a 3. He's like a 3. Shoots the 3.
Did you ever get to play against his dad?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remember when he came up, man.
Yeah.
It was just like
7'6" or 7'7".
Yeah, it was just all knees and elbows.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The next great player like that coming up is Maker, which is Thon Maker's brother or cousin, and he's the one who committed to HSBC. Maybe Howard. He committed to Howard.
Okay.
He's like maybe 5th in the nation ranked, I think.
Okay.
But he's like same thing, 7'1", 7 foot, handle it, shoot it, do whatever.
What's with the Maker and Bull?
Well, it's interesting. I kind of, in the book I'm writing now, I've written about that. The names in English language are totally different in African language.
Uh-huh.
The family name is the most important name, and if they are from a royal tribe, the name can somewhat be repeated. It's like you are the king, and you are the king. You're the king of everybody, or you're the leader of everybody. So it needs to be repeated. So, for instance, did I ever tell you about the story with Dikembe Mutombo?
No.
Okay, so I was in Toronto when I was my first year playing, and they asked us to show up at this local college and play. That's where we played at before the season started. And they were just local guys. They weren't really that good. So on the corner basket, there was like a 6'2" African guy shooting a sky hook from like free throw line. And he was very choppy, and he kept shooting the sky hook. And we were like, well, what are you doing? he was like in African dialect. You don't know about Skyhook. Skyhook is best move ever, created by my brother. And I said, no, the Skyhook was created by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yes, but Mutombo better. Mutombo better at hook. So I said, who are you? He said, I'm Mutombo's brother. I said, but he's 6'2". Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't think he has a brother here. I knew he didn't have a brother here because I knew Georgetown basketball. And he said, no, I am his brother. So he rambled off all the names. It was 15 names. And the other end was Mutombo. So Mutombo played at Denver at the time. And I wasn't going to see him till January, February. So I go up to Mutombo after the game, and Mutombo's very standoffish. If you don't know him, you're not going to talk to him, even to this day. So I go up to him and I go, Dikembe, you have a brother in Toronto? No, what is this nonsense you speak about? I said, do you have a brother in Toronto? No, who told you that? So I somewhat remembered the name, and he goes, oh, that is my sister's husband. He is able to take my name because my name Mutombo is champion or king in my tribe, so he could take our name. So they're allowed to take the family name. Oh. So it's very unique. And then I said, well, what's your total name? And he told me it's like 15 names. Same with Luau Dang, same with Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka's got 26 names.
Oh. That's interesting.
Never
so
knew
it's
that.
it's like tribal leader, king, dad, it's like Wakanda times 10.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great story.
I mean, that's something. Yeah, it's something you wouldn't know unless you.
Yeah. So I kind of
yeah.
researched it a little bit, and especially like in the Dinka tribesmen, and like Mutombo, like Dikembe Mutombo. I think he's got 10 or something like that. That's just the easy name.
That's great.
Yeah.
We have to take our last break of the hour. We'll come back, talk NBA with AC Earl.
Oh, that was.
Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah. You like that? You like that? Woo!
This is Brian Rothenberger, radio guy for the Quad City Storm. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
Score a touchdown on your next new or used purchase at Sexton Ford. With a huge selection of new Ford cars and trucks, you'll feel like you've entered the big game each and every time. You'll be treated like a pro player from sales to service, auto body to parts. Sexton also has a strong bench of mildly used vehicles, too. Why wait? The game's on at Sexton Ford in Moline.
Oh, yeah. Sexton Ford is the talk of the town.
The Max Kellerman Show.
Kendrick Perkins.
Max, you argued me down on first take about how good of a player Chris Middleton was.
No, I didn't.
And I told you, yes, you did. And I told you that he wasn't that type of guy, right?
Just making stuff up now.
Play. Oh, I'm making stuff up.
I argued for Chris Middleton. No, I said Chris Middleton should be at best the third best player on a championship team. You need another dude who can go get his own shot and do it on a higher level than Middleton if you want to pair him with Giannis to win a championship. I never said anything different than that. I wasn't thinking the Bucks were going to win a title this year.
So did you have a Bucks coming out of the East?
Yep. I sure did. Shut up, Perk. Why are you bringing up old stuff?
The Max Kellerman Show. Weekdays at 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Hey everyone, it's Axel and friends from the Midwest Animal Assisted Therapy and Education Organization Community Outreach Center at North Park Mall. You and your friends were practicing for Veterans Day? I notice you have a couple friends with you. Introduce yourselves. Hi Floki. Hi Snap. You say they've been assigned to veterans that have been diagnosed with a post-deployment disability, and now they work as emotional support and service dogs? That's great. Wow, there are more veterans that need help? And people can help by donating to your Military Animal Assisted Therapy and Education Action Plan? I'll tell him, Axel. He and his friends say to thank a veteran for their service to our country. And you can donate and help serve a vet. as they learn to relax, reset, and recover from a post-deployment disability or any other emotion that's interfering with daily life. Go to COVID19ESA.org. Find them on Facebook or at animalassistedtherapyeducation.org and donate today.
Matthew.
Huh? Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I just need you to listen to me.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
All the talks we've had over the years, including what you've told me about not using alcohol and other drugs, they stick with me. And believe it or not, they really do make a difference, especially at times that matter most.
Hey, want a drink?
No thanks, I'm good. So thank you, Dad, for talking and preparing me for what's ahead.
Thanks, Mom, for never giving up and always being my biggest fan.
Thank you for letting me know what you expect, so I can try to meet your expectations.
Thank you for talking.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Hi, this is Jay Farner, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. We can help guide you to those right decisions now when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so when you call 8338-ROCKET or visit us at rocketmortgage.com to start your refinance, you'll be well on your way to saving money every month. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.125%, APR 3.43%. Right now could be a great time for you to take some positive financial steps forward with a cash-out refinance from Rocket Mortgage, which could give you the boost that you're looking for. In addition, we may be able to help you refinance with little or no out-of-pocket costs. At Rocket Mortgage, we're committed to every client, every time, no exceptions, no excuses, giving you the best mortgage experience. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Rates subject to change. Pay 2.875% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
If you own a small business, you know how hard it can be to find new customers, but maybe you're unaware of new tools that can help your business stand out. Go to townsquarequadcities.com now for a free market competitive analysis that will show you what other businesses are doing to find new customers and how you can do it too. There's no cost and no obligation. Be one of the first business owners to sign up and receive $500 in free advertising here on ESPN 1170. Get started today. Call 563-202-2230 or visit townsquarequadcities.com.
The biggest stars in sports are heard right here. Never miss a moment when you download our app. This is the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Welcome back to Don't Hassle Us a Local on AM 1170. Everybody, we got AC Earl in the house. We're going to be talking all things basketball. So, during the break, I brought up the fact, and Jay, we had talked about this a little earlier. The players and the owners of the NBA, once again, are at a standoff, if you will, about when and where to start and, what's going to happen here with this oncoming season. Granted, it feels like the other one just got over a week ago. So AC, with that being said, insight for you. What do you got? What do you know?
Well, I know they want to push it back to January, February. I've heard All-Star weekend. The problem is I always say, the check's been cashed for Christmas Day. Those Christmas games are huge. I think alone it's like $1 billion or something for the Christmas games.
Yeah, those are on NBC, I believe, right?
Well, no, they actually do like 5.
Okay.
So they like the first 2 are TNT, like 12 and 2, and then I got the ABC Christmas game, I think 3 and 5, and then they come back on ESPN, I think, with a doubleheader. So it's either 5 or 6. But it's huge. I mean, that's their, that's kind of their bread and butter. That's when they kind of get the average fan in, and the fan who's just around, they're all watching TV because it's Christmas Day, So I don't think they're going to be able to push that unless they do some kind of stagger season, which I'm hearing they might start some games for Christmas Day and then kind of dial back a little bit. And I'm thinking maybe let the the non-playoff teams play it out. So like the Orlandos and the teams that didn't make the playoffs, because they're the ones who haven't played since March. You know, they haven't did anything. You know, they actually, the NBA gave them a exception where they could get in during the bubble, they can get in and start working out early because they didn't get any games. So that's like the Atlantas and the, you know, Orlandos and the team that didn't, Charlotte and all those teams.
Do you think any of this is going to lead to a strike?
No.
Okay.
Could be a lockout.
Well,
because the collective bargaining agreement is tomorrow. They've been pushing it back, and the owners, they want to go Christmas. The players are saying we want to go later. Now, keep in mind, it's the players that played in the playoffs, not the other ones. The other ones are going, whoa.
Right.
We want to play.
Right.
It really comes down to the 72 games for the TV rights.
Right.
That's
which is already knocked back 10 because it's 82 is regular.
Yeah.
Right.
So they've already shaved off the 10.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think it's going to be, I mean, somebody's going to play on Christmas.
I think so.
Somebody has to play on Christmas.
Well, they went from, so the revenue sharing between the owners and the players are 50-50.
Not total. I think it's 52. I think the players get 52. 52 or 54.
It's 50-50 now. They've shaved it back every year.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they went from $10 billion in revenue sharing. They lost $1.6 billion over this. And they're looking to lose, if they move it back, if they go down to 50 games, like another $1.6 billion.
Yeah.
So what this really means is someone like Steph Curry, who makes $40 million, they go to 50 games, is going to make 25.
Yep.
And that's what some of these contracts are. You have a kid who, you know, on his rookie contract, he's got, you know, a big house and everything else. He still has to pay the mortgage. He still has to pay his agent. He still has to pay his finance guy. And then, you know, everything else. And then he's going to look at, no, I make this much money. And they're going to say, you don't play enough games anymore. Like, it got cut back. And I think that's the problem. And you're looking at, what was it, 2016 when all those big contracts were signed?
I mean, everybody's staggered. I mean, that's always been the deal with collective bargaining is it doesn't hurt the big players. Right, LeBron and Steph and those guys, they're not going to cry over that. They'd rather rest, right? Steph might want to play, but LeBron would rather trade $20 million for rest any day. It always hurts is what we call the rank and file guys. The rank and file guys and the rookies are the ones that gets hurt. And that's the same thing we saw with football, right, is why they didn't want to, you know, because the main guys are fine. They have enough money to do whatever. The rank and file guys are the guys who are what we call check to check. I mean, I don't know how you could be check to check making $4 million a year, but you know, those guys are check to check, right? Yeah. Those guys, you're right, have the house, they got the 4 cars, they got the 4 houses here, they're taking care of their mom and their grandma, and they got a big posse, and you know, those guys are the guys who are saying, no, we want to play because I need every dime I can get because my playing career is only going to be 4 years anyway, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know exactly all the ins and outs of CBA. I know that they pushed it back a little bit. Friday is another deadline, and the owners might just sit there and say, like, we're doing this anyway. And they can do it. They can say, we're playing these games anyway, and that's where you could have a lockout/strike thing because the owners can force it and say, like, we're playing this no matter what.
Yeah, and I think you know, and Adam Silver will play a huge role as he has.
He'll do a good job.
You know, LeBron and Chris Paul will talk to the players as they always have, right? And you know, they've always prided themselves since the lockout that I was in the 95 lockout or 96 lockout. They've always prided themselves. They haven't had a work stoppage since then, and so I don't see anything happening. Like I said, it's going to probably be some kind of staggered season, or hey, let's do this and then come back and rest a little bit and then do this, or, you know, LeBron playing these games and playoff teams playing these games. You know, it's going to be something a little bit, you know, a little bit wacky.
They has to be, both sides have to see the big picture of getting back to the normal 21-22 season.
Yes.
Because since even when you and I were talking about it, I was like, I think the NBA wants to be in the summer, and now the NBA is like, we don't want to do this anymore.
No, they don't.
Because they had to go up against and I know it was October. They had to go against football, and it was an election year, and a big election year. But the NBA was like, it was a good idea. We played along, but really we need to get to the 21-22 regular season. It's back to normal.
And the other part about nobody's talking about is China TV came back.
What?
Yeah, so the Chinese games came back.
Oh, yeah, because
so there's
Morley...
Yeah, so the 11...
Morley apologized, and now he's with the Sixers.
So the 11 networks that canceled came back. So that's another... So that money has to come back. Yeah, that money is now back in the pot. So like I said, I think there'll be something a little bit, quirky coming. But, somebody's got to play on Christmas.
That's what I think it's going to be. I mean, I get it that they need rest, but
no, you got to play on Christmas. Somebody has to play on Christmas.
There's enough stars that didn't play in the playoffs that we can get someone to play on
exactly.
Christmas. I mean,
you can get Golden
Zion.
State. You can get Golden State, right? And those guys will play. So I mean, everybody wants to see LeBron, and he's played in 10 straight Christmas games or something like that. I think he leads the Christmas Day appearances now.
I think I read something too that if he had to play, he's just going to cherry pick the entire time. He said that's what I brought AD here for. So it's pretty good.
But he won't, because everybody launches those shoes on Christmas.
Yeah.
So the off the court financial impact of not playing on Christmas and not launching your shoe is generational income. You know what I mean? Because those guys launched their shoe and they play they changed the shoe at halftime, so they show the other color. So
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that's the thing, man. That is the thing. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, and all those guys have it in their contract. Is they got the shoe contracts? Is they get the signature shoe launch on Christmas? So you have the Thanksgiving, you have Christmas, and you have MLK Day. In playoffs, those are your 4 major shoe launch in opening night. But Christmas probably trumps it all. Probably poor taste of words. For some.
Yeah. Well, next week when we have you on, we'll talk more about the draft that's going to be held on November 18th. It's going to be held virtually, but I wanted to get your thoughts on what do you think about LaMelo?
To me, I did my research a little bit. I got some notes. For me, the best pro-ready prospect is LaMelo. That's for sure. He's played against men in Lithuania, and he's played against men in New Zealand. You played against pros, and you play pro style of play. He's probably the most pro-ready. Depending on what your situation is, he's your number 1 pick. If you're loaded with those type of players, if you're like Golden State, I think you go to Wiseman for sure. 7'1", 7'2", left-handed, shot blocker, likes to be around the rim. Doesn't mind doing the dirty work. So there you go. A player who doesn't mind, but he can shoot the 3.
Right.
And he can handle a little bit. So, to me, those are the 2 players. The guy from Georgia, I'm not sold on him. I've watched him play twice this past year. He's got talent. I don't think he's pro-ready. I think he needs a couple years to play at minimum.
It's not a deep draft.
No. I think between those 3 players, you got to find a steal. You got to have a great scouting and great development, like a Miami Heat team would probably do well in the draft because they scout well and they develop well, like Tyler Hero, right? They go get a guy like that. If you're not doing your homework, I think like Toronto's going to do their homework. They've done their homework. San Antonio does their homework. If you're just an average run-of-the-mill team, and you get a lottery pick, you might want to trade that pick.
It's been rumored that Boston wants to shop their 30th, their 26th, and their 14th to move up.
Yeah, but those picks aren't.
I know.
Those picks are garbage picks.
Yeah, that's why it's not very deep. Like you said, you have to have scouting.
Yeah, the only
if you're the Timberwolves, do you take it?
No.
For the one you don't?
No, because the only reason why you would take that is if you have salary cap issues where you need to you don't want to sign a great lottery player because it's going to put you over the cap in a year or two and you'll be hamstrung. That's the only way you would take that. You know.
I don't think Golden State will take that.
No.
I don't think so.
Golden State wouldn't take that, but there's always somebody that will. But no, I wouldn't.
Just trying to see if there's anything else out there. But yeah, I mean, the guys you mentioned are the same guys that I've heard about. I think LaMelo is the number one. He's obviously meeting with the Timberwolves. You mentioned Anthony Edwards, Wiseman.
Yeah, he's not having great interviews, from what I understand, which is surprising to me because you're in the pro. You've already had to meet with pro teams with Australia or New Zealand, and you've already had to Lithuania. You've already had to deal with GMs and coaches. You know what I'm saying? So that's shocking to me at one point, but it's not at another point because the kid did not grow up properly. You know, he didn't have a high school. You know, you didn't have a growth period where you go through those things.
Yeah,
and that's the drawback when and I teach that in class and I tell that with parents when you move your kid up 2, 3, 4 grades. Athletically, they can do it, but emotionally and psychologically, he can't or she can't.
That's a good point.
And that's a huge jump for a kid, especially with a kid who's shielded with his parents who shield him, like his dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's different if your dad's a doctor or a linguist or something like that, or a teacher or professor, when you could kind of watch that and kind of change the narrative. But, you know, it's been shown that his dad has not been that type of person. And so, you know, he's struggling socially, and it's coming out.
Well, you mentioned playing down in Australia. He shot just 46% from 2-point range and 25 from 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're playing against men. I mean, you're a kid playing against men, which is going to happen.
And they're also, the team was told to give him the ball and let him shoot. You know, and that can be a problem because the team you're playing for sometimes, it's like the movie Teen Wolf. The rest of the team just stands around and just feeds him the ball. So I'm not saying that, but
and he's there to get featured. I mean, he's there to get featured. That's the
what
whole
he was
thing.
there for. Yeah,
right. So, you know, unfortunately, you can play on those teams where they're just featuring the player and everybody else is just window dressing.
It just feels like the Timberwolves just draft a point guard every year, and it just doesn't work out. It just doesn't seem like
you know
a
what
good
that
recipe.
team is just ran so wrong. It's just been ran wrong. You know, I think Flip Saunders probably did the best thing, and you know, unfortunately, he passed. You know, I thought the mistake from with Thibodeau giving him the reins of GM and head coach was terribly wrong. He's never shown any inclination that he can run a team from a management perspective. So it's just, you know, that team was just ran fundamentally wrong.
Well, hopefully Saunders' kid is now the coach there, right? Flips.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that, yeah.
And the other thing is it's still up for sale.
Yes.
So that's another thing that can feel that, you know.
I did see a deal was coming through the other day.
Well, it's not with KG because he's not happy with that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He said he doesn't want his jersey hung up in the Hall of Fame because they pulled out from that deal.
Right.
But there's a couple others. What else? Is there other ones for sale in the NBA ownership? I don't remember which one I heard.
Was Kings?
Kings where, yeah.
Yeah, Kings.
Yeah. Do you think, before we run out of time, do you think the NBA will expand soon to like a Las Vegas or Seattle?
No.
No?
No. I don't think expansion. I think a team will move. I don't think expansion. I think the product is severely watered down from the non-playoff teams. Like some of those teams are really bad.
Yeah.
You know, and bringing in another team, it just creates it just perpetuates the problem, which is you got bad teams that are poorly run, that they're just lottery pick after lottery pick. There's no fan base. There's just no cohesion, and it makes the product look bad. And that in turn makes it easier for the stars, you know, because you know what I like to watch with the playoffs is when the playoffs start, you're playing against the 16 best teams. So if you average 25 points a game during the season and you're averaging 16 points in a playoff, that just tells you that you were bottom feeding, which a lot of players do. They just bottom feed, right? You got Charlotte in town, you got Orlando. I can get 25 on these guys any night, but against the great teams, you can't.
All right, AC, thank you so much for coming in. Catch us later. We're going to have the AC's podcast coming up soon on Facebook Live, and we're going to be recording it. Enjoy yourselves, Quad Cities. We're not going to be on tomorrow. Get outside, get some fresh air, be safe and sanitized.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad Cities Sports